I'm here today with Robert Spriggs in Morgantown, West Virginia. He is a veteran. He fought in World War II from 1942 until 1945. He was in both the Atlantic and the Pacific. In 1942 until 1943, he was on the USS Albemarle. The USS Albemarle, you can see here, it was a seaplane tender. And tell us a little bit about your adventures on this seaplane tender. You were on it for almost 2 years?
Yep. The big cranes on the back of it would pick up a PBY when it landed in the ocean. And they could put it on the deck, service it, even give it a new engine, the plane. The PBYs were searching for German submarines. And when they ran out or had trouble out in the middle of the Atlantic, they called on us to help them out. We had extra motors and gas, oil supplies. Even had an extra crew on there that could fly the planes, and they would keep on searching for German submarines. Now we searched around Cuba. We searched around Puerto Rico. And we even went down to Recife and Natal, Brazil in 43. And then later on in the year of 43, they sent us up to Halifax, Nova Scotia. And then there was a convoy going on over there. There was 44 ships leaving there, all headed to England with English supplies, with American supplies and everything for the war. So we traveled across the North Atlantic. When we got to England, we couldn't get into Bristol Harbor because it was mined for submarines. And they didn't clean the mines, so we couldn't go in that harbor. They backtracked us up the English Channel, and we went into Swansea, Wales, little port up on the coast of England. And that night, when the tide went out, the Albemarle went right on and sat on the bottom of the ocean. That wasn't very good. Then after the tide came in the next day, we moved her out of there and unloaded out in the English Channel. Then we started to head home, and one of our main dry shafts was bent from hitting on the bottom of the ocean. And we had to go into Charleston. No, we went into Boston Harbor to get our new shaft put in. When we got there, they had the lock all ready. They opened the lock, and they started pumping water out of the dock, and we went in and went down and sat on the bottom of it. So they started taking the shaft out that was bent and had a brand new one up on the dock, and we figured, oh, we're going to be here a while, yeah. 48 hours later, they had the shaft in, and we got an emergency call to go to Norfolk, Virginia. They had a special assignment for the Albemarle. That's when I got, they said that the best thing to do now to save time is go through the Cape Cod Canal, and you can save almost a day getting down there, and you didn't have to sail so far. So we started through the Cape Cod Canal, but we made waves on both sides, and we upset the fishing boats, and people started complaining. And we had heard a siren that night or evening, and here's the state police coming along. They stopped us. They said they had to slow her down because we was making too much waves and too much trouble. So we got a speeding ticket for $60 on the Albemarle for going through the Cape Cod Canal too fast. I think we're the only ship in the Navy ever got a ticket from a state cop.
For speeding?
For speeding.
In Cape Cod.
Yeah, they stopped us. Then they give us an escort out of there right into Norfolk. And when we got there, they called me over to the office, and he says, hey, we got another job for you. I said, what is that? He said, well, there's a big new carrier over in Newport News, and they want a gyro technician assigned to them, so you're it. I said, I don't want it. He says, I didn't ask you whether you wanted it. You got it. They gave me another stripe, and they sent me up to Naval Intelligence up in Newport, Rhode Island to go to school for a little bit on certain things. Then I served on an aircraft carrier. And the old Abel Mabel, she had to go her way. I never did catch up with her again.
But one of your adventures when you were on the Albemarle was going over to England, and you were in a USO club one night, and you met someone.
We went over when we got our convoy in England. We went to London for the weekend, and while we was in that USO club, a man came in, and I had a V-mail letter sticking in my pocket, and he said, "Go over and sit down," he says, "and I'll draw your picture." So he took his pencil out. He had a graphite and big old stub pencil, and he sat there and he sketched me. And there I found out it was Winston Churchill himself. He congratulated all the boys for bringing the ships and all to England, and he sat down and drew this.
That was in 1943.
October 43.
You still remember all that?
Yep.